All right, we're here with our regional finalist, top 64, Bonney deck profile, aka Crash.
Alright. So, I mean, the list is pretty standard to an extent. I did play a couple one-ofs that I'll be at the end of the video, but there's reasons behind them, and I'm sure he'll ask me questions about it. But to get started, obviously, you got to play the best searcher in the game, Jewelry Bonney. Sheesh. And then obviously, I chose to actually play the Don Quixote searcher. I wanted to be as consistent as possible. I found that playing more than just one searcher in the deck is just better than any other possibility you could actually play.
So
I didn't really like the supernova version only of this. It just felt way too inconsistent, and it felt like you were playing a lot of non-counter, and then the times where you wanted to find your 10-drop Doflamingos, you couldn't find them, so this helps you find them and facilitate your...
What are your ratios of Don Quixote and then Supernovas?
Overall, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty...
Close.
It's pretty even, yeah. It's pretty even. And when it comes to 2Ks and actual searchable cards, I think there's probably like 5 or 6 non-searchable cards in the entire deck itself. I tried to keep the ratios themselves like pretty consistent in searching. So I mean, pretty self-explanatory for these two.
Two searchers.
I played 4 of this, and I know that a lot of people were actually cutting out this to play the 9-drop Shanks instead of playing the 8-drop Kid like package, but I found that even though 8-drop Kid I feel like is a win more card, it was just really good in a lot of like matchups where they can't answer it.
Did you think this number is too many at some point?
Absolutely
where you're like,
not.
no, you're just like, I want to see
especially because my matchups over the weekend, which we'll go over later, I played 8 black decks out of 10 rounds.
Holy crap,
it's kind of ridiculous. I played 8 black decks.
Yeah, that is insane.
And I only lost to 2 black decks, and the very last round I lost to purple yellow pudding. So
no way. Holy.
He kind of sacked me, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I got some 2Ks here that are also searchable off the Baby 5.
Ooh, we're on
I played 4 Viola.
Okay.
2 Baby 5s.
Did we not want... we just wanted this because of the effect, potentially? Is that why you opted for more of this?
Not really.
No?
There was actually just no reason. I just never actually ever played the card. I just used it because I didn't have 4 of these. To be 100% honest with you, it was either play 4 of these because they're out there, or play 4 of the, or 2 of these. But I didn't have 2 more of these, so I just played 4 and 2.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Searchable 2K for Bonney, just in case.
So these are all the 2K counters for Don Quixote? Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. So you're on 6 searchable 2K
6
counters.
searchable for Baby 5 and 4 for Bonney.
Okay.
So I'm actually only playing 10 2Ks, which I know seems a little low to most people, but with how many blockers the deck can actually play, and you're actually going to play in the deck, it's not actually as low as you think.
Gotcha.
This is just searchable. The effect can come up later on if you're playing against, something that you just don't want them to have a searcher on. If they play a searcher and you just want to get rid of it. I'll tell you, I never played this card. I played it because it looks good. That's it.
Valid.
The next card is probably one of the best cards, if not the best card in the deck.
Cavendish.
5-drop Cavendish.
Yep.
I mean, this card is very self-explanatory, but if you can get this to stick, even though I couldn't get it to stick all weekend because I played nothing but black decks.
Yep.
Actually that's a lie. I played it against Black Yellow Luffy and it stuck there, surprisingly.
Yeah, that is a
just because I made sure to get rid of their 4-drop Kuzans, but even then, like, that was the only matchup, and I think it only stuck in like one of those matchups. If you can get this card to stick and you play your 10-drop Dofis, you play your 8-drop Kids, you play any of your big bodies, and then you are able to swing with this guy and restand 2 Dawn, you probably just win the game. This card just gives you so much value. It's actually ridiculous. I mean, that's all there is really to say about this card. If you get this to stick, you can win the game.
Some max out on cavies.
Next, this is actually one of the non-searchable cards. I actually forgot this is non-searchable. But this card is just crazy. On play and when attacking, just freeze any body that's 7K or less. I didn't play any Doflamingos. I was kind of hoping to play Doflamingos, but this card actually froze all of the BY Luffy's, 5-drop Luffy's that buff themselves to 8K or whatever. I just kept freezing that over and over and over again.
Yeah, cool.
And
Luffy,
if
bro.
for some reason I wasn't ever able to get rid of the Kuzans, I would freeze the Kuzans, so they would never be able to produce anything. A lot of the time against Lucci, they thought this was the biggest threat over this, which was actually crazy.
Yeah.
But they would still be able to just pop both, so it didn't even matter. I mean, obviously Lucci's the worst matchup.
In your opinion, is this, like, once it hits the board, and these two are already established, is this actually a threat, or is this the threat?
This is still the threat.
Yeah,
this just generates way too much value in the game, period. It just says, oh, you're on 7 Dawn? Well, technically you're on 9 Dawn, because you can just restand 2, and you get your leader ability. You get to leave a Dawn open, especially after dropping a big body. It depends on how your hand is against this deck, where you try to decide whether this is going to be the threat against you, or this is going to be the threat. They're both pretty big threats. The only difference is that if they get rid of this, if they get rid of this, I can always just search another one. If they get rid of this, I can't search it. So a lot of people see this as the bigger threat.
Okay.
Which is respectable, especially against Lucci. It kind of makes sense too, because if they, have a lot of bodies on board,
like a Jack on
start
board,
freezing them.
Yeah.
Oh
no, Jack bumps himself.
Yeah. Jack, you can't freeze Jack with this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wish. Now I've played 3 Basil Hawkins, literally for the black matchup. I'll tell you,
did it come up a lot?
It did not come up at all. Not one time did I see this card against any black matchup.
Damn.
It was actually kind of crazy. And I only
were you
had
looking? Were you looking to open with this in the black matchup just for that?
That's what I wanted, or seeing these. I actually won my Lucci matchups, a lot of them, because I played 4 or 5 of them, and I won a lot of them because of this and not because of this. But if I ever did get this on board, like I think I seen it in 2 matchups against Lucci, and they just never got rid of it, so it kind of just helped me win against them because I just swung at the end, and they just never did anything to it, obviously, because everything they do to get rid of stuff other than Jack is on play.
Yeah, if they try to double pop, this says no. I'm taking all your pops. And
at one point in a game against the Lucci, I had 8-drop Kid and 2 of these on board and this on board, and he was just kind of like, yeah, what do you do to that? I was like, oh, you can't really get rid of anything, so good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would change the ratio on maybe for 09 I would change the ratio of this, just because I don't think it's going to be Lucci heavy,
so this isn't
top heavy.
This isn't your 09 list. This is just from the Texas Regional. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't updated this list for 09. I don't think there's very much changes I would make for 09.
In theory, what would you
cut this down to 2, if anything? But just because you like having blockers, this is also good on even curve, and it's good to search off of this.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's no counter, but it's still a good card. There's not a lot of pop effects in 09 that I can think of besides maybe Blackbeard. But the next card is Hodie. A lot of people cut this card down to like 2 and 1. I kept it at 3.
Yeah, so good.
This card just wins you BY. I mean, you already have a really good BY matchup, but this card just wins you BY. It's also very good to play and then try to go for game 2 if you actually just need that extra push.
Yeah, 100%.
If I ever did change ratios, I would only go down to 2.
Yeah.
But I think this is perfectly fine.
Also for like starve matchups, I remember playing a Nell against you, and you're like, "That's cool, bro. I'm just gonna take my own life." So not only are you not gonna be able to pop anything like Cavi or Carrot, but I'm gonna go ahead and start punching you in the face.
One of my matchups I did play against was an NL, and that literally came up. They tried to play the starve strategy, and I was just like, "Okay, cool. I'll play a Hodie, and then I'll play the Cavendish later, and then you're never going to pop any of them unless you Rygo them. And if you really want to do that, you are more than welcome to, because I'm just going to keep swinging after that. So
it's not worth it.
Because next turn, I'm just going to play something big, like 8-drop Kid, for example.
Yeah, people were like shitting on this card, like, this card wins games. Like, if you're not running it at least 2, 3.
So against the Nell, it's like the only time where it's kind of like, all right, well...
Because it's getting thrown in your life.
Sucks
it's getting thrown in life.
They got like 3 ways to get rid of it, or 2 like easily good ways to get rid of it, and that's Rygo and freaking 8-drop category. So it's like, all right, well, this sucks against the Nell. But against every other matchup, it's kind of good, even against Lucci, in my opinion. And that's just because if you have this on board and this, they're not getting rid of this. And not to mention, if they do get rid of this and they neg this down, you've just got like 4 or 5 cards out of their hand for them to get rid of this. Right. Unless they have a Jack on board, which you shouldn't let them have that. But that's just my opinion. Card's still really good. Playing it at 3 was fine. I didn't see any issues with it. I like this combo. It won me a lot of games.
Yep.
I still think this is the best thing to do. Now this is a little controversial just because a lot of people say this is the best card in the deck. I'm only playing 3 of this.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm playing 3 of this is because I play like 4 or 5 one-ofs that help me out in other matchups that we'll get to in a minute.
So you were preparing for every
just as
matchup.
good as this card. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I teched for like different matchups as well. But I don't know. This card's very good. I think I only played it like twice the weekend though. Just against like black yellow, and that's just because like I can freeze everything, including their leader.
Is there an argument to be made cutting this and then bumping this? Maybe?
Yeah, that would be one of the things I would do is probably turn this into this.
Okay.
But even then, like, there's not very many cards that came out in 09 that could help this deck, so that would probably be like a decent change.
Yep.
But the other change that you could do is probably just cut this and go up onto the non-drop shank, so you're actually KOing stuff like black.
Oh, so you bump up the
shank.
Okay.
If they don't use the leader effect, obviously, because
I like that.
on play.
Gives you something to do on 9 Dawn, so.
Yeah. I played 3 0-cost events, and
Searchable.
I mean, obviously this is self-explanatory. It's searchable and it gets rid of your non-counter in your hand and helps you stay alive. That's all there is to it.
Have you ever triggered this out of life?
I triggered this one time.
Yeah. Okay.
And it wasn't even at the event. I triggered it one time here at locals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did it help me? No, it was a troll. But it can come up. It 100% can come up if they're going for game or something. And this is your last life, and they swing, and they have like another 12k body. You can rest it and hopefully try to go for game on your turn if you have a board.
Yeah.
If you don't have a board, you're kind of screwed, obviously, but it hasn't come up for that effect.
Gotcha.
Now, like I said, I played a decent amount of one-ofs. To me, a decent amount of 5. And they were all for different matchups. This was not really for any matchup. This was just to see an extra blocker. In case I didn't see this, it's also searchable. It is a non-counter, but it is searchable off of this, and you can combo it with the kid. Now, I played in 1 9-drop Shanks, and that was just to get rid of any troublesome bodies. This did come up all weekend. It actually came up like for 6 of my matchups.
It's not even searchable.
I got rid of geckos. I got rid of... the main thing I got rid of was freaking the 7-drop dude, Jack.
Jack. Oh, yeah.
This card just killed Jack, and people were just like, "You're playing that?" Yeah. Funny enough, I'm only playing it at 1, but I still seen it.
So you see that early, and you're just laughing to the bank, basically.
Yeah. I played 1 9-drop Zoro.
Now I know you were on 2 at one point.
Yeah, that was just because I was playing against you.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's because you wanted to troll bring a Nell, so I said, all right, I will play 2. So you want to go 1, I'll play the other one.
And you cooked me that match too, because.
So what's funny is against the Nell player, I actually played this against him too, and he was like, "You played that card?" I was like,
He didn't have
absolutely.
He didn't have Rygo to answer it.
Nope.
Oh no.
This won me the game.
Oh no.
This actually won me the game against 2 black yellow Luffy players too, because they were like, "You're playing that card?" I'm like, "Yeah." 100%.
Yeah, you gotta tech.
I was like, it's a win more against you guys, but like, if I play this against Lucci and they can't get rid of it, I can win against Lucci too, and I could just get a bunch of swings into Jack too.
It's a win con.
Yeah. So, would I bump this card up more? Possibly. I might go to 2 again.
Yeah.
I did get rid of the 2nd alt art, so maybe not, but
Valid.
I played 1 5-drop Bonney. The 5-drop Bonney was literally for Adele. It was for anybody playing Katakuri for some reason. Anybody playing something that had 10-drop Big Mom. It stopped maybe 2 plays all day. I froze the character. I froze a Jack.
Yeah. It just says freeze anything or freeze dawn. Did the freezing dawn portion of the effect come up?
You can freeze a dawn, but only matchup I froze a dawn against was the purple yellow pudding, and I was still already behind, so it didn't even matter. He had already had 2 trend drop moms on board by the time I seen this.
Oh my god!
So it didn't even matter. And the last card, probably one of the MVPs because I played against 8 black decks. This card was crazy good over the weekend.
Did you only play it on curve though?
I did.
Yeah.
I play it on curve.
Yeah, you never played it on your 9-Dawn turn?
I couldn't play it on 9-Dawn turn because when I actually was going to search for it, I would always have a searcher on board, and then I would activate the searcher and then find it, and it would be like, yep, slam this.
Yeah. So the timing was
drop
just...
out another 5-drop Bonney.
Would you bump it because you're running so many 5 costs, or it's not worth to see it more than...
There is an argument to actually cut this and play 2 of this.
Really?
I am 100% okay with that. This card is actually not needed in Bonney.
Yeah,
even though
because,
it's a Bonney. It's kind of crazy.
You're getting early value with seeing these,
yeah,
right?
this is just better because this is on play and when
And when
attacking.
attacking, yeah.
The only reason you would ever play this card again, because I will be cutting this card, is if you see a lot of yellow coming up, that's going to be playing Drop Big Mom or something like that. The Dawn, you can do it against Blackbeard too if they don't actually, do their ability, but even then it's kind of like, they're always doing their ability, especially against you when everything you do is on play except for like these 2. So, I mean, and the searchers, but everything else is kind of just like...
So what was your final record for the Texas region?
I went 7-3.
Very nice. And your placement was?
63rd.
63rd, okay.
I literally barely got there, but my 2 matches that I lost before the final match were both Lucci, and they both, I believe, got top 16 and top 8.
Yeah.
That was before top 32, so I'm not entirely sure where they ended up after that. But for top 32, that's where they were. My round 1, I lost round 1, and I lost round 6 or 7, and then I lost the last round. If I had won the last round, I would have gotten top 32.
Very nice.
Same with our buddy Riley over here, who was on Dofi.
We
both would have had top 32 if we won our last round, but just didn't get there. Can't win them all. Top 64 is okay with me. I mean, easy $200.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that pays for your trip out there, basically.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, got any questions?
Yeah. So, what were the matchups that you can recall?
So, round 1 was a Lucci. I lost. Round 2 was BY. I won. Round 3, I believe, was another Lucci, which I won. Round 4 was a Lucci, which I won.
Jesus Christ.
Round 5, I believe, was a Nell, and I was actually sitting next to our other buddy, Colton, and I won. And then round 6, I believe, was another BY, which I won. Round 7, I believe, was a Lucci, which I lost. And then round 8, I won, which was another BY. And then round 9 was... What was round 9? I think round 9 was another Lucci, which I won because he was sitting next to me again. And we were both playing against Lucci. And I had almost given up at that time where I was like, oh my god, I played another Lucci I'm freaking done with today. And then I won. So it's like, cool, now if I just win the next one, I'm in top 32.
Right.
And then I played a Purple Yellow Pudding, which I lost to.
Was it just
and drop mom go crazy,
Yeah.
When you see everything on curve and you just high roll the hell out of somebody, there's nothing I can do.
He chose to go first, I'm assuming.
All of our buddies were standing behind the guy who hadn't seen his hand, and they were just like, yeah, there was nothing you could do to that.
Yeah.
And I watched them search 2 10-drop bombs, and there was still nothing I could do to it. Even if I tried to slow play them, or like, not slow play, but
stall.
Starve. Yeah, starve him.
Yeah.
There was nothing I could do.
Okay.
It was just nothing I could do. He had all the cards to see ramp. I had nothing. I think my opening hand was like a Rosie, one. I don't even think I seen a searcher actually. I think it was like 2 2Ks, a Rosie, an 8-drop Kid, and a 10-drop Dofi or something, or a 7-drop Hodie. It was something non-counter. And then I started drawing, and I kept drawing. I drew 2 of these. I drew like 3 of these. And it was just like, all right. Well,
I'm assuming you mulligan and your hand was shit
I was
both
mulligan.
times. Yeah.
And my mulligan hand wasn't actually as bad. Like, I probably should have kept the first hand because I think it was this, and like a cavi, and I should have just kept it, and the rest of them were whatever. But over the weekend, I mean, afterwards, like talking to the guy, because I actually talked to him in line, he was like, yeah, there was nothing you could do. I kind of high rolled you, and I was like, I know. I know.
He chose to go first, obviously, right?
But I mean, deck performed well. Do I think it's good in 09? I think it's probably B tier in 09.
B tier? Oof.
I don't think it's that great.
What is it losing to?
A lot.
Like Shank? Would you say Shanks?
Definitely loses to probably. I don't know about Shanks. Just because like I can just rest any of your rushes. But it will probably lose to Shanks just because Shanks is very oppressive. It definitely loses to Blackbeard. Everything you do is kind of on play.
Yeah. Aside from this.
Yeah. I mean, aside from this and like
just having establishing this, yeah.
But even then, like
you're not getting value from these.
They're just gonna try to like starve you out or something, and like won't be aggressive until they're set up for 10 Dawn and they just go Blackbeard, and you don't even get your leader ability anymore because it's negated on their turn. So like it loses the Blackbeard.
Yeah.
BY it still beats, so I mean there's no issue with that. Like it can beat that deck. I mean, I don't even remember what other decks there are out there. Lucci, I don't really think Lucci is going to be super prevalent in this format, but that's just because it loses the Blackbeard really hard. I mean, and if it does, like, I mean, this deck loses the Lucci.
How are you doing into
just won the tournament last night?
What did?
The Orange Samurai tournament just won.
Lucci won?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about rush decks into this?
Into this? If you're playing a rush deck into this, like PPR Sanji, I think like this can still handle that.
Bello Betty, Shanks.
I still think this can handle that.
Yeah, okay.
I get the rest one of your characters, dude. Like your
Animal Zoro. Animal Zoro's kind of crazy though.
I've beaten Animal Zoro.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I think it's like always winnable? Absolutely not. They just high roll you and they see the nuts. You see the nuts, bro. Like you can't do anything about it. But
no, that's fair.
If I'm able to get like the small blockers on board and stuff like that, and I have 0 cost, and then it finally gets to like an 8 Dawn turn where I play this like they can barely handle.
Yeah.
So I mean, and not to mention against like rush decks, I like to take my life and go down to like maybe 1 or 2 life, keep a stack, play this thing,
and you're just chilling.
And I'm just like, all right, you get rid of it. You swinging 15 at it. No, all right, cool. It's Gibson stick on board, and now I get to set up everything I wanted to.
So just making sure you see this in the rush matchup is
a lot of that and a lot of this.
Okay, that's valid.
100%.
All right, well, congrats, bro. You definitely deserve it. You've been practicing like crazy in locals, and yeah. And then I'm gonna go off stream. I'm gonna buy the Shirahoshi for 200, dude. Pay for his trip. All right, bro. I appreciate it.
Yep.